Much. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our wonderful oasis of sleep. And I'm so excited to have Tracey with us today. And she's amazing because she's a grief whisperer and she's a grief coach. And we do have times in our life where it's part of life, we suffer from grief. And I'm really glad because I'm part of her LinkedIn group and I've been to a couple of her sessions in the evening and they've been really helpful. And I thought she could come to us and talk to us about sleep, rest, and relaxation. Because when we struggle to sleep, it's our next best thing is rest. So yeah, I've got some questions which I was going to ask Tracey, and I sent them to her in advance, and I'm hoping that she'd be prepared because I didn't want to just fire questions to her. So first of all, please introduce yourself, Tracey.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tracey Jane. I'm the Grief Whisperer. I have a background in mental health nursing, counselling, grief coaching, and a life coach too. So it's very much something I've always worked with people right the way through my career. And really, the grief coaching has come about from losing two core members of my family and really having my eyes opened about how we can deal with grief in a lot of ways. But I have a large family. I work from home. I have a rescue dog. So I'm all about people. My life is enriched with people rather than money. So that's who I am. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So my next question is, please let us know why you think rest is important.
I don't know about other people, but personally, I find if I don't get rest, I am one of the grumpiest people on the planet. I can't cope with things. It's For me, it's about being present, and I can't be present when I'm tired or my body is too tired or my brain's too tired. I like to give my everything to people and to my life and to what I do. And when you're with people, nobody wants somebody grumpy with them. And the other thing I find is my reactions are different when I'm rested as well. I'm very much more clear, relaxed. I think when we're stressed and we're tired, we have these knee jerk reactions, which are almost like just a mechanical reaction, which isn't giving our best to other people. And it's not helpful in a lot of situations. It can cause a lot more trouble than it can help. So I think being rested in some form gives people the best of you, I think. And I think that's part of our responsibility as humans is to give the best of ourselves to others. And you can't do that when you're not rested and when you're tired.
I agree, and I think it's one of those things that people sometimes miss. You know, when you're grieving, you get overwhelmed in emotion, and sometimes you could forget to actually rest.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I know it's one of those things that you come across all the time. So, I mean, what is it about grief that makes us tired?
It's what's the best way to explain this? Our bodies run on systems, a bit like a car has a certain way of running. So it starts the engine up, that fuels the fuel coming through, the fuel then drives the engine, we lift the clutch. All of those things have to work together for the car to move. Now, in our bodies, when we get a loss of any sort, be it parent, pet, child, whatever, job, home, that delivers this like, if you want to call it an amazing or a huge, not amazing, but a huge electrical shock to all those patterns in our body. And all the patterns go off and do their own thing. They don't work together. They say, oh, no, I've got to deal with this by myself. And everything just either shuts down or goes haywire or just does not want to communicate with another part of our body or our brain. So when you think our bodies have had a massive shock, our immune system shuts down, our heart goes inwards, it sort of almost protects itself. The brain, the two sides of the brain are doing two different things. So the one side doesn't know what the other's doing, and it's saying, well, we need to do this, and we need to, so that's where your brain fog comes from. So actually, when you think your body's not working in harmony, it's working twice as hard as it is in your natural state. And it's almost like it's on high alert. So therefore, you can see how much more energy you're going to be using, how much more mental energy you're going to be using because of the emotions that are going on, because there's no synchronizing in the brain going on for what we're dealing with. So actually your body is working so much harder. And I don't know about you, if you've maybe hurt yourself and you're feeling a bit woozy, it's like your body can't cope with that amount of shock. So therefore we're very tired after we've had an accident. We're very tired after, we need to rest. And you get sort of this response, the same response from your body and your mind as you do when you've had maybe a serious accident, where we just need to recuperate and we need to open that heart back up. We need to bring that immune system back online. We need to bring the brain, the two pieces of the brain need to come back together. And that takes time as well, because we have to try and get through that emotion and master that so that we can think clearly again. So we can see how we get tired when we're using twice as much energy, sort of in this hyper alert state, if you like. I think it's a bit like if you've ever been really scared and everything is tense and you're, really, really worried, and everything is just so tight. And then afterwards, your body relaxes and you think, oh, I feel so tired. It's that sort of reaction that happens within that time frame, really. And I think the body is so amazing with the way it copes with dramas and shocks and things that happen to us. We need to work with it. So we need to be listening to when our bodies are tired as well. It's so for the rest side of things, it's being able to listen to your body, knowing, noticing, oh, my body's tired, or noticing, oh, my brain is tired. Because I think in this busy world, we don't always listen to our bodies and minds. There's always the next thing to be moving on to each time, particularly when you've got a large family or when you've got a busy work career. We can get stuck in this autopilot and we can't actually hear our bodies going, stop, I need to stop. Or my brain's going, I can't focus on that. Why can't I focus? It's because I'm tired. So let's recognize when our bodies are tired, particularly when we're going through an emotional journey. It might be that our parents they have dementia or something. And again, we need to be listening to our bodies, because there will be times when our bodies go, come on, step back from this a minute. We need to recuperate before we deal with the next change. So rest is really, really important in that way. Yeah.
Very much. So obviously you come across a lot of people who have had grief in some way. What
Mm.
obviously we need to acknowledge that that's happened. I love the way you said, oh, your body's working twice as hard because, you may not think so, but your body's really getting used to the interrupt of your systems. I like the way you put that. It's very good. So what's helped to help people in your kind of community to deal with it so they can rest and sleep?
Well, the very first thing I say to people is, if your sleep is that disrupted, because sometimes if we've had an unexpected loss, our sleep can be exacerbated. The pattern can really go out the window, and you can't cope with that, and you can't even stay asleep sometimes. So what I say to people is, even if you can't sleep, lie there in the dark and let your body do its thing, because eventually the darkness, and reading's the other thing, that left to right, that makes us tired, that naturally brings on tiredness in the body. So to do those sorts of things, but I always say just rest. So if you're not sleeping at night, if at 3 o'clock in the afternoon that's a sleepy time, whatever you're doing, down tools and go and get that rest. Don't think, oh, this is the rest of my working day. If your body's signaling to you that that's your time, your body is now tired in that grief cycle, take that opportunity to rest, because we need that for the clarity and to deal with the emotions. We need that rest time. So I often say to people, even if you can't sleep, go and rest. Some people find if they've lost a spouse, I often suggest put a radio in the bedroom very quietly, so there's a little bit of background noise, because if you've always slept in a bedroom with somebody else, that silence can be deafening. So sometimes we need a little bit of background noise there for almost company while we sleep, if that's what we're naturally used to. So other people hug pillows. They have a pillow that they hug when they go to sleep, because that brings comfort, so that can help us go to sleep again. The other thing I say to people as well is brain dump. If you're in that guilt cycle, or you're in that cycle of I'm missing somebody, or you're feeling very lonely, what's in the brain needs to come out. And I don't mean put it on your phone with the blue light. I mean, get pen and paper, because that actual act of putting pen to paper and writing stuff focuses the brain so it comes out into the universe, and then it's not going round and round in our heads. What you do with it after, whether you chuck it in the bin, you burn it, whatever, that's up to you. But in general, that's a really good way with an emotional situation, particularly if we've got a parent maybe that's going through dementia and we're really worried. Put that on a notepad by the bed. that is done. That we'll deal with that tomorrow, and then the brain can then begin to, I call it debrief, because particularly when we're in a highly emotional state, we can't let go of that cycle, and we need to have a way of that cycle coming out, be it music, be it a radio, be it a bath time, a warm bath at night time. There's lots of oils we can use. Lavender's a really great one, and I think rosemary's another one.
Yeah,
I've got
rosemary,
some.
lavender,
Yeah,
mandarin is good.
yeah,
Lemongrass is good. Orange blossom is good.
amazing.
Um, also, sweet marjoram is good. So yeah, I know about those
Yeah.
some good oils that we can use. So, do you have any other tips for us to cope? Because Christmas and New Year is a really hard time for a lot of us because we're missing our loved ones.
Yeah. There's lots of things we can do. I think the biggest one is self-care. You
Thank you.
choose when you mix what you do over that Christmas. And I don't care if you use the grieving card, use the grieving card.
Mm,
Say, not up to it today.
mm.
The difficulty that comes with this is you've got joy and sorrow together. And what
Exactly.
I say to people is we need to be socializing, because our chemicals in our body, we need to be mixing with other human beings. It actually
Definitely.
heals us.
Mm,
But I also understand that actually we can be in a room full of people and feel really, really lonely because that one person's not there.
yeah.
So we have to it's a really difficult, but if we can do it, it's to manage this balancing act over
Mm,
Christmas. So
thank
if you've
you.
got family saying, you really, really must come and see me, I don't want you on your own for Christmas.
Yeah.
One of the responses I tell people that I have as clients is, thank you for your care.
Mm,
I'm really, really want to be on my own, but please give me a phone call in a
yeah.
couple of hours' time, or give
Yeah.
me a call in 4 hours' time.
Yeah.
I will answer.
Yeah.
And then you're keeping those that love you and care about you happy,
Yeah.
but you get your reflection space time too.
Yeah.
And don't be frightened to say, I'm okay, but I just need a quiet Christmas.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
Thank
we
you.
do need that. We
We
don't need
do.
to be bombarded and everybody being jovial, because that's not what we feel like.
No.
So pick your times. Christmas is on your terms if you're
Yeah.
grieving.
Yeah.
If you want to buy a present and put it under the tree for somebody you lost, that's okay. You're not
Yeah.
nuts. You're expressing your love.
No.
That's good.
Yeah.
And don't let other people tell you how to grieve over Christmas.
Yeah. Thank you
Do
very
your own
much.
Christmas in your own way. So
Thank
if you
you.
want to stay up to midnight and go to midnight mass on your own, that's okay.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody else dictate what you do. Particularly that first Christmas is so raw and
Mm,
so difficult. You need to listen to your body and go with the flow of what you feel is right. If you
yeah.
want to be with family, that's lovely. That's really healing.
Yeah.
But on the other toss of the coin, sometimes we need those quiet times just to rest, like we've been
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
It's it's it's
Definitely.
it's a really fine line of balancing the
Mm,
joy and the sorrow together,
yeah.
and the dark. I always call it the dark and the light, because we have
Mm,
these dark thoughts of loneliness and
yeah.
missing people, which we have to process. That's part of the grief.
Yeah.
But make sure you get some of that joy. Go and see somebody with a carol service. Go and
Yeah.
have mince pies and mulled wine, and
Yeah.
have both sides. Don't deny yourself
Yeah.
the other side because you
Yeah.
feel you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing is, if our loved ones were with us, and they are with us,
Mm,
but if they were stood there going, why aren't you going to that? You like mince pies. Go to that mince pie party.
yeah.
Go to. They don't want us sad over Christmas.
No.
That's the
No.
last thing our
That's
loved
so
ones. When
true.
you love somebody, you wouldn't deny them
No.
something.
No.
So let's balance it really well. But don't be frightened to say to family, don't make me conform to society. This is my grief. Because
Yeah.
every unique is grief. Every grief is unique, and we need to
Yeah.
acknowledge that as
Yeah.
families as well.
Yeah. Brilliant. So, how do people find you so that they can get, extra help?
I am the Grief Whisperer on Instagram,
Mm,
LinkedIn. I'm Tracey Jane, the Grief Whisperer Redwood on Facebook. I have a group on LinkedIn called the Grief Whisperers, which is really easy to remember. I have a group
yeah.
on Facebook called the Grief Whisperers too.
Yeah.
Um,
Brilliant.
and I also have a website on Ko-fi.com, and that's the
Right.
Grief Whisperer.
And
So
are you on Instagram?
yes, I'm on the Grief Whisperer on there.
Brilliant.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So it's really been wonderful to have you. And I wish everyone a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year, especially remembering loved ones in a positive way. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.